number one is WWE. So,
What are you doing?
What? Oh, yeah, pretty much.
Sorry, I've been holding that one. When I wrote WWE
Not
on there, I
worth
was
it.
like, whoa, what are you doing? Sorry.
Yeah, I'm gonna mark you as a negative 0. You can't talk
sorry.
again for another 30 seconds.
So WWE is back in the news after this past Sunday. The pay-per-view, not a fan of this name, Stomping Grounds, was probably one of their worst pay-per-views in recent memory. Only because there's a lot of contributing factors. The main thing, though, that was in the news about their past pay-per-views, they had a total of about 15,000 people that were there. 4,000 of those people did not pay for those tickets. They found people that gave those tickets away just to fill seats, and even still, they weren't anywhere near being sold out. And one of the contributing factors is people are kind of tired of WWE, just the content they've been putting out on not all their platforms, but the ones that come out on weekly TV and the stuff they have for the pay-per-views besides WrestleMania and maybe one of the other big four has been pretty lackluster. And they
put it on after Modern Family. What demographic are you trying to hold on to? That's complete opposite demographics, though. You've got liberal, regular people watching Modern Family.
Oh, Modern Family. I was thinking Family Guy. I was like, that's the same demographic.
No, Modern Family. And then you're switching over. You've either got the people who call it wrestling or the other group of people who are just watching it to watch it.
I don't know. Wrestling has gotten huge
Call it
again.
wrestling.
It is wrestling, but wrestling's not what wrestling used to be. Now it's family-oriented wrestling.
Is it really?
No. It's PG, so that's might as well what it be.
That's weird family-oriented TV.
How did it go PG? It used to be so raunchy.
Yeah, but back in 2010, for some reason, they started gearing it more towards just it being more family-oriented, more for children. It's not the fact that John Cena probably helped with it, but he definitely played a part into it because he's Mr. Make-A-Wish. Hundreds of kids a year say, I want to meet John Cena, and so he goes and does his thing and meets
Hasn't
kids.
he fulfilled more wishes far and away more than
anybody else?
I wonder if that's why they call him Mr. Make-A-Wish.
I'm just saying. Wow.
Yeah.
Under the bus.
But other than that, they don't cuss that often anymore. The whole anybody bleeding thing, no, he can't do that anymore at all. The things that were like Mick Foley back in the day, throwing down thumbtacks, throwing people on them, setting tables on fire, throwing people through them, throwing somebody off the top of a case through a table. Can't do that no more. And that's...
What is this then?
Multiple personalities.
Yeah, pretty much. Wrestling, yeah. A lot of fun things they took away a long time ago. And
They took all our bad stuff away.
They started treating the women better, which was fine. I'm happy for that. But all the other stuff that the dudes could do, there's no reason to take that away. But they did. And that started the decline. Then bad business practices, as we've said before with John Oliver, even said it. And it's now led to a decline in sales, decline in ratings, and people not buying their stuff. Oh, and the Saudi Arabia things.
So yeah, what's up with the Saudi Arabia thing?
So, WWE year before last, signed a deal with the Saudi, it's either the Prince of Saudi Arabia or someone in the Saudi government, basically to have, I think it's 6 shows over there over the course of 2 years, and they got paid $49 million for it. But a lot of superstars, wrestlers, don't either say no to the trip, and then like they just decide to stay home. The first time everybody tried to say no, some of them did get punished if they were like kind of lower, like mid-card superstars, with like main event people like John Cena, Dan Bryan. These names probably mean nothing to you after I say all of them.
I know some of them.
Yeah, but some of the major guys, if they said no, it's fine. But it's the guys that are a little lower on the rungs that end up getting like punished for whatever reason.
And from that article you sent us, that was one of the main issues too, is that like not for lack of talent, but for lack of superstars.
Yeah,
and which is why we don't know who they are. Yeah,
and like a lot of them are one out of their contracts. Some of them now that AEW, which is All Elite Wrestling, which they've had several pay-per-views that have been wonderful over the past year and a half or so, and they're gonna actually like start up and have their TV show air in October on TNT, and it's gonna be direct competition for WWE, which they haven't had in like 20 somewhat years.
Yeah, with WCW.
And since WCW, but they bought it and made sure no one remembered it for a while. But
so what happened with Saudi?
So WWE was scheduled to go out there for the Greatest Royal Rumble, which was the first one. But then a month before they were supposed to go, the journalist got killed. And like there was a petition that came up from a lot of fans and other concerned like politicians, like WWE shouldn't go over there. They shouldn't do this show. These guys are not, what they say they are, and you shouldn't go out there to help promote them to the world by just accepting their money and saying, okay, yeah, sure.
Right.
And like a lot of the
John
WWE...
Cena's All-American.
Yeah, and he said no. He hasn't gone there. He went there, I think, once. But that was... I'm pretty sure they gave him a lot of money. But
it's okay, because he...
But he said no ever since then. So... But... like even Vince McMahon's wife, Linda McMahon, she is... And actually, in the White House, she's the Secretary of Housing and Development. I believe that's right. Yes. And she was getting a lot of flack because she still owned part shares in the company. And they were like kind of hounding her like, you can't do this and that. If you are going to be, you got to choose. Either you're going to be a businesswoman over here or you're going to be in the president's cabinet over here.
Right. Conflict of interest.
Yeah.
Not saying a word?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's not following anybody's certain example or anything like that.
No. But...
I mean, Leslie Knope didn't teach us about this in episode 27 of Parks and Rec.
Episode number. Wow.
That was a guess.
Okay. It's like, that's legit.
Just for emphasis. Keep going.
And then, like, things from just Vince taking, like, creative interests and just creative opportunities away from like a whole bunch of WWE superstars, wrestlers. That's what they are. In WWE, they're called superstars. Like not letting them try to be themselves, just like saying, all right, this is what you're going to do. And go out there and say, suffer and succotash. Like, who are you trying to connect to? No, he's smooth. Had someone go out there and say, suffer and succotash.
What?
Like, yes.
Like just to exercise his power over them.
Yeah, like Roman Reigns went out there, he was cutting a promo, and he was like, this is really making me mad, it's really making me upset, like, suffering, succotash, y'all. And I was like, why? Why?
Suffering, succotash, y'all.
Like, Vince McMahon is, and even Triple H, who's Vince McMahon's, like, real-life son-in-law, who's in charge of NXT, who's doing fine, and NXT UK, who's also doing fine, he's like having a lot of frustration because it seems like he doesn't want the company to succeed or even make it past another year. And if things
remember Triple H.
Yeah. And if things keep going the way they're going, it looks like WWE, as big as they are, they're not too big to fail, but they still might fail anyway.
So did they go to Saudi Arabia or no?
They have 4 times.
Since then?
Last time the main event was Undertaker versus Goldberg. Undertaker is 55. Goldberg is 52.
Why did I think the Undertaker died?
I don't
We go
know.
through this every time the
single
Every
Undertaker
time
is
he's
mentioned.
mentioned.
Every time
I
he's mentioned.
can't not think he's dead.
Yeah. But
Serious Mandela effect.
Yeah.
WWE is in a decline. And if they don't change anything, history will repeat itself, but in reverse. AEW could buy out WWE, and WWE will disappear into nothingness like WCW.
Yeah. Vince McMahon definitely needs to go away. He needs to retire. He needs to disappear.
Yep.
Because his practices are ridiculous. Like the way he treats the athletes, it's insane.
Yeah.
And now he's shooting himself in the foot and taking everybody down with him.
Yeah, because he...
Oh, no.
What?
Linda McMahon is... Wait. How do you spell McMahon? Is that the right McMahon? It was the first
that's
McMahon.
right.
She's the administrator of the Small Business Administration.
That's what it is.
Which is even worse that you own shares in a small business. I mean, obviously it's not a small business anymore. Like, that's the definition of what's wrong with the government.
Yeah, you've got a big business.
You got an asshole running a big business.
Well, yeah, exactly. And then his wife is in charge of the rules for small business. No wonder it's hard for small businesses to make it, because
not only she owns shares in that business.
Mm-hmm. Wow, that is like...
I just had to know. I had to know.
Monopoly. I mean,
I'm done with this
should
country.
Be like, the reason monopoly should be illegal is so that there is fair trade, right? There's fair... Because
of these laws and these things, and no one calling WWE out on it, they've been able to treat their employees, and that's what they are, employees, like crap, like independent contractors, because people like her, which I don't know her life. She might not be doing nothing wrong, but I'm going to go ahead and say that she is, because it looks a little fishy.
So there, you can look up hundreds of stories of all the McMahons. When it comes to like the main family, Vince, Linda, and Stephanie, they say dealing with them is like dealing with an actual devil. Like, they're all pretty ruthless and pretty cutthroat. If people say Shane McMahon's pretty, like, he's great to work with, he's still a businessman, but he's, he'll level with you with a lot of things. And that's the oldest son.
Wow. So like as far as like the
we're on the edge of something here.
like the monopoly thing. Like, I don't know if you guys know, we live in Centerton, Arkansas. You cannot get internet from anybody but Cox Internet because the city or whoever has cut a deal with Cox, and no one else is allowed to have internet from a different company in this town. Like, that is straight up illegal. Like, I went into AT&T and I was like, hey, I got my phone and all the other stuff with you. I want to do internet. And they were like, where you live? Da-da-da. Sorry, we can't do business in that town. I was like,
what?
He's like, yeah, we've got cables and everything. We just can't do business there because of a contract that Cox has with, like, say what? Like, how is that legal? How is that okay? Like, just checks and balances not being checked and balanced, and just people, it's like the quote that says, the only thing that needs to happen for an evil man to succeed is for a good man to do nothing. And that's happening a lot in our government and nowadays. And I guess the WWE, Vince McMahon, is the perfect example of this.
One day ago, mandatory.com posted something in the WrestleZone that says internal Trump vetting documents showed Linda McMahon with 14 red flags.
Okay.
One of which was redacted.
What did she do?
It says that the one that was redacted, where did it say? Hold on. Had to be considered in appointing her to the position of Administrator of Small Business Administration. So the one that we can't see directly affected her leadership.
Wow.
And because of this, there are rumors that she's going to be stepping down next year.
Which is still
in
6 months
2020.
away.
But the first couple, I'm just going to give you a little teaser here. It says she paid late property tax several times since 1984. Don't give a shit about that. McMahon said that some
Why?
some of
There's
these
no
are not
reason to be
important.
late with all the money that they're
Yeah.
swimming in like Scrooge McDuck.
Literal.
Some of these are not
billionaires.
important at all. The only one that's like, really? Do you really have to do all that? Is the late taxes. The rest are just like some crap that she said about Trump. About some of his things that he said being deplorable, even though she's known for being a Trump supporter. And some other things. This one says, despite McMahon guaranteeing that wrestlers on steroids won't work in WWE 1993, 65 wrestlers had died from heart attacks in a 7-year span in 2004. It's like none of these really have to do anything with her. So I don't know why they are red flags in government things.
Because she's married to the man
that are letting these things happen, and she's a part of government.
Exactly.
I get that, but like,
so
I thought it was like, what?
Oh, it's still like that.
It's messed up, but it ain't. I thought we was talking about money here. I thought we was talking about her giving WWE tax breaks and
I wouldn't doubt it.
money
Maybe.
bailouts and stuff like.
Making it hard for small businesses to succeed, and big businesses to thrive.
Yeah. So Lord.
Oligarchy.
Yeah, but that's about it.
Yeah, so we can't not talk about WWE and not get into some of this stuff because their hands are so dirty with it, you know. And
I hope that other business does run them out.
Yeah. I mean, and that's what happens when you go burning folks left and right.
Actually,
eventually those people are going to get together and overthrow you.
I take that back. I hope that doesn't happen because thousands of good employees will lose their pay and they have no insurance, no retirement benefits. They will have no way to live.
Unless
because
they are
you have
bought
screwed
out
them
and
over.
become employees of the new one.
Yeah.
Which would be great if
Fingers
they did,
crossed.
but it's not going to happen.
They'll find them a job. Trust me. There's
Really?
tons of places. Like there's so
I'll
many
hire
like
you.
actually so many wrestling companies that exist in the world. Just for so long, WWE just had an iron grip on everything.
Because they're not allowed to contract through those while they're contracted with WWE.
Yeah, and they went through and bought everybody out at an early stage, so they would be the one on
And
top.
even when was it? It was either late last year or the beginning of this year. Ring of Honor, which is they're kind of like middle tier. It's not like super indies, but it's not like really high grade professional all the time anyway. Company, but they put on good shows, and they were going to have their first show at Madison Square Garden, and WWE kind of like stepped in. It's like, you don't really want to have them in Madison Square Garden. They haven't been anything before. They might not even sell out. We always sell out when we're here, and plus, you know, think about what we've done. Remember Bruno Sammartino? And then they brought out Bruno Sammartino, and then they were like, no, you guys can't have your event here. I'm sorry.
Wow.
Boy,
That's some underhanded, dirty stuff.
come over here, I'm going to fight you.
Yeah.
That's some literal Scrooge type stuff.
Yeah.
Like undercutting the I mean, I don't know. Some people believe the way to do business is to be ruthless, and that's the only way to get ahead. But I don't believe that at all. I think kindness is the way to go and treat other people with respect. You know,
Ruthless got Vince here, and he thinks he still needs to be ruthless to stay there, but he's doing it like he's ruthless behind the scenes, but like in front, it's like, here's this nice little sweet package of nonsense.
Has he ever seen a movie? I mean, even one of them? The bad business guy never wins.
yeah. You might win for a little while, like your short term, but in the long term, you're not going to win.
I love that you shrugged. Like, I don't know if Vince would be in a movie. I'm not sure if he watches movies.
But yeah, that's about it I have on this. It was a lot.
Goodness.